Welcome to Read in Minutes. Here's a short summary of the book Lord of the Flies by William Golding. If you enjoy it, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Now let's get started. Lord of the Flies is a novel written by British author William Golding. It was first published in 1954 and has become a classic in literature. The story is set on a deserted tropical island and revolves around a group of young boys who are stranded there after their plane crashes. The book explores themes of human nature, civilization, and the inherent capacity for both good and evil within individuals. The story begins with a group of boys, varying in age from about 6 to 12, who find themselves on an uninhabited island due to a plane crash. There are no adults with them, and they must fend for themselves. The initial excitement of being free from adult authority soon turns into confusion and fear as the boys realize the seriousness of their situation. Ralph, a boy of about 12, is elected as the leader through a conch shell, which symbolizes order and civilization throughout the story. Ralph is sensible and represents the voice of reason and order. He decides that their main goal should be to build a signal fire on top of the island's mountain to attract passing ships and increase their chances of rescue. This fire, symbolizing hope, is a central element in the novel. Another important character is Jack, who initially holds the position of leader of the choir boys. Jack is a stark contrast to Ralph. He is obsessed with hunting and quickly develops a taste for power. His primary focus becomes hunting pigs on the island, and he gradually leads a faction of boys away from Ralph's leadership. This split between the two groups represents the growing division between civilization and savagery. As the story progresses, the boys' behavior becomes increasingly chaotic and less controlled. They struggle to maintain the signal fire, and the fear of a mythical beast on the island begins to take hold. This fear, combined with their isolation and lack of adult supervision, drives them further into a state of primal, instinctual behavior. The boys' descent into savagery is exemplified by their growing obsession with a severed pig's head on a stick, which they dub the Lord of the Flies. The head, covered in flies and decaying, symbolizes the evil within each of them and the growing power of their inner darkness. It speaks to Simon, one of the more thoughtful and empathetic boys, and tells him that the real beast is not something external, but exists within each of them. Simon, in his attempt to confront this truth, stumbles upon the dead body of a parachutist entangled in the trees. Mistaking it for the beast, he rushes back to the group to share the news. However, in their frenzied, superstitious state, the boys mistake him for the beast itself and brutally murder him in a horrific frenzy, marking a significant turning point in the story. Meanwhile, Jack's faction continues to grow in power. They steal Piggy's glasses, which were used to start fires, and this act of theft further diminishes the boys' chances of rescue. With their fire source taken, the group becomes even more divided and destructive. Piggy, a bespectacled and rational boy who has represented intellect and order throughout the story, meets a tragic end. He is killed when Roger, one of Jack's followers, rolls a boulder off a cliff, striking Piggy and sending him plummeting to his death. This brutal act symbolizes the complete breakdown of civilization and the triumph of savagery. The conflict between Ralph and Jack escalates, with the group divided into those loyal to Ralph and those under Jack's rule. Jack's group becomes increasingly savage, painting their faces, worshipping the Lord of the Flies, and descending into madness. They conduct brutal hunts, during which they become consumed by the thrill of the chase and the bloodlust. In a climactic and violent encounter, Jack's group steals the remaining glasses and sets the entire forest on fire as they hunt Ralph. The raging fire eventually attracts a passing naval ship, and the boys are rescued. This dramatic turn of events underscores the thin line between their potential for salvation and their descent into total chaos. The novel ends with the boys being rescued, but the naval officer, who represents the world of adults and authority, is himself a part of a war. The officer dismisses the boys' actions as fun and games, failing to grasp the profound emotional and psychological trauma they have experienced. The story concludes with Ralph, who has survived the ordeal, weeping for the loss of innocence and the realization of the evil that exists within every human being. In Lord of the Flies, William Golding explores the idea that human beings are inherently capable of both good and evil. The isolated environment of the island allows the boys to regress into their most primal instincts, revealing the darkness that lurks within them. The novel serves as a cautionary tale, demonstrating how the absence of societal structures and adult authority can lead to the collapse of morality and the rise of brutality. The conch shell, symbolizing order and civilization, is gradually overshadowed by the beast, the Lord of the Flies, and the chaos that takes hold of the boys. The boys' descent into savagery is depicted through their actions, the breakdown of their social order, and their increasing obsession with hunting and violence. Simon's murder, Piggy's death, and the intense rivalry between Ralph and Jack all illustrate the destructive forces that can emerge when human beings are cut off from the restraints of civilization. The novel highlights the fragility of human society and the ease with which it can disintegrate when confronted with fear, superstition, and the allure of power. Lord of the Flies is a powerful and thought-provoking exploration of the dark side of human nature. It serves as a stark reminder of the need for civilization, order, and the restraint of our innate capacity for evil. The story continues to be a relevant and impactful work of literature, inviting readers to reflect on the timeless themes of morality, societal breakdown, and the human capacity for both good and evil.